and he used to always sit on the unit with his head like this. He didn't really talk to much people. And then when I introduced the music to him, this is his reaction ever since.
It's powerful stuff. Dan Cohen, founder and executive director of Music and Memory. Dan, what were we just looking at?
Well, Henry, 94-year-old man, spent years just really with his head down, non-responsive. And then when they gave him his Cab Calloway music he loved, he just woke up, lit up, not only just became alert, but starts talking a blue streak, and it was really kind of a shock to everybody.
Yeah, let's put this in perspective. Music and Memory, founded in what year?
2010 as a nonprofit.
With a goal toward?
Making personalized music universally available to everybody in nursing homes, assisted living, hospices, hospitals, to improve their time, their day.
So what's the deal here, Dan? Music, I was just telling you before we got on the air, some very close family members of mine dealing with some real health issues, cognitive issues. And I've been struck by how powerful music can be on a lot of levels. What is the connection between music and our minds?
Well, it's really interesting. You know, most of our senses, sight, smell, and such, just are in a small part of the brain, but brain scans of somebody listening to music shows the whole brain light up. So even as our cognition declines and parts of the brain are ravaged by some form of dementia, a lot of the brain is still functional, especially our emotional system. So someone may not have the memory, but their emotions are there. And when we love music, it's not we're thinking, oh, I like a song. It's because, oh, no, I love that song. And that's still there. So the music we love today, we'll love no matter what happens to our brain, pretty much.
So you know, what's fascinating about it is that you've also said that it's important to, and this is really, it's important for everyone to understand this, because there are so many people dealing with issues of dementia. And by the way, clarify dementia and Alzheimer's.
Well, there are a number of forms of dementia, and Alzheimer's is the sort of most prevalent.
Right. It is important, and you've said this, and it makes so much sense. And I only happen to know this because the family member that I'm talking about, I know what he loves, the music he loves. And because I play that music, I see the reaction I get from him. It is critically important to know the music that the family member loves and appreciates and is connected to before it gets to a point where you're not able to distinguish or determine that, correct?
Well, that's really the trick. You know, very often in nursing homes, people can't speak anymore, and there's no family around, or they don't remember, but they give them, a certain genre of music. Oh, they're 83, give them big band. No. Just the way we wouldn't want to sort of have somebody assign a genre and then pick for us.
Oh, yeah, because that was the time that they listened. No, it doesn't work that way.
No, it's really got to be specific. Music that holds personal meaning for them.
You know, it's so interesting. Richard Wagner mean anything to you? The music of Wagner? Yeah. He was a certain composer during a certain time, and for my loved one, that's the music. And I also see that in Sinatra. But they're two totally different forms of music, totally different sound, and I see the reaction. And I just sit there and I'm amazed. So when I was getting ready for the show, I thought to myself, there's something here. Do enough people understand that music does in fact have this impact?
No, but people really don't realize it, because we all grow up with our own understanding experience with music, so it's hard to accept something else. And that's why I asked a filmmaker to come get a few minutes of this, and that was Henry, who you just saw, went viral. It's the most viewed video on dementia globally, to really express
Is that right?
Hope. Yeah, 13 million views.
13 million views. Yeah. Why do you think there's been that reaction?
Well, there's really no hope. You know, the news coverage is always, the numbers are just skyrocketing, the cure is forever away, and it is a terminal illness. But this shows that there is hope to at least improve quality of life, and we don't just abandon them because they have this disease. No, the person's still there, their character is there, their personality is there, and we want to stay in touch with that, and music is a back door. So even though you can't talk to them, the music will sort of awaken them, and then they'll start reminiscing and socializing more, very often. It works most of the time pretty well.
You've also said that using music from a therapeutic perspective can, in fact, allow us to reduce the use of medication.
You know, it used to be, doctors in New York City tell me 20 years ago, 50% of the people with Alzheimer's, they just gave them these heavy-duty antipsychotics. And they learned now that they were really inappropriate. They're off-label use, not to be used except for specific psychiatric diagnoses. So if you don't have a psychiatric diagnosis in the background and you're old and you have Alzheimer's, you should not be on that according to CMS and the Health and Hospitals Corporation.
Talk about that.
So
I'm
basically,
fascinated by
unfortunately,
this.
what's happening when somebody can't speak, they get frustrated. When they get frustrated, they get agitated. When they get agitated,
Yes.
they might strike out and hit someone. And then at
we
home,
don't want that.
We don't want that, of course. So the person at home says, "Doc, give my mom something." And so they give them this heavy-duty drug, which kind of deadens whatever's left of their personality. And it does calm them, but it really has these negative health effects, like doubling and tripling mortality rates. And so the federal government's telling all the nursing homes and all the doctors, really just stop using these drugs. And so they're really trying, and they don't realize there's a replacement for it. So the music can be replaced within 100 days. The music can replace the drugs, these antipsychotics, really quickly, half the time, no problem. And the more we know someone's music that they love, the better the rate is. And the more successful we are. So what that means for families who have loved ones at home who are maybe healthy and maybe just a little bit of dementia, learn their music now, because that's going to transform the rest of their lives.
And you also seem to be saying that the music, for someone who's agitated, who has dementia, and is reacting and striking out, and there are really problems with that, you're saying the music has the potential to calm that person down without having the negative impact or the negative effects of some of these antipsychotics.
There's no negative side effect to music. At worst case, it doesn't work. And so, yes, absolutely, we're seeing a drastic resistance in agitation and violence, and less likely people will be injured, and also more likely, if you've told your mom, I told you I'd keep you home forever with me, but I can't handle you anymore, so I have to send you to an assisted living or a nursing home. But with the music at home, wow, if the mom's not agitated, and then the spouse is can enjoy their life more. So caregiver stress, it's very hard to be all day, every day with someone who's really difficult, and this helps reduce caregiver stress. In Toronto, they're actually handing out 10,000 iPods to every family where someone's diagnosed with Alzheimer's for free because of the 180 change in impact. It just changes the daily things.
Up in Canada?
Yeah.
Why in Canada? And what do they know that we don't know?
They don't know. We know, and we're working on sort of getting the word out here. In Australia, I was just there. They're looking at giving every person who's diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, give them that iPod fast, because it's going to transform their life. There's nothing that works like this. The experts in the field, people are doing this all their lives. The people who are 30 years in Department of Health in different states saying, this is the most effective intervention I've ever seen for Alzheimer's disease. It's not a cure, but it does change that quality of life while you're all alive.
Talk about the technology. You keep talking about the iPod part of this. Have iPods revolutionized this? Because you could say, well, say it was 30 years ago or 40 years ago, if not more, you could say, well, here's a cassette. Here's an 8-track, or way back, or here's a record, an album, whatever it is. That's cumbersome to some extent, or it seems to be in the world of iPods, but iPods make it much easier?
Well, look what's happening today. Young people, we only listen to what we want to when we want
That's right.
to. Click,
On demand.
skip, Pandora. Skip down, I don't want that one, I want another one.
That's right.
And so, well, let's bring bring that new capability to the people who are most vulnerable, who we viewed as being technologically phobic. Oh, I don't want a computer, No, we'll do the technology. What music do you love? Here
That's
it
right.
is.
You find it right away.
Yep.
Real quick, before I let you go, how's the program funded?
The program is funded from training fees for nursing homes that we train, and the public, we desperately need money and iPods. And on a website, there's a prepaid label. They can just send in iPods, foundations, that kind of thing.
How'd you get into this?
By accident. On the radio, I heard in 2006 a journalist talking about how iPods are ubiquitous. They're everywhere. And I thought, well, the kids all have them, many of us adults, but in a nursing home, didn't seem likely. I Googled iPods in nursing homes. 16,000 nursing homes, not one using iPods that way. And I just volunteered and started doing it as a volunteer.
That's how you got into this?
Yep.
And this whole organization's been created?
Yep.
You have any sense of how many people have been helped?
Tens of thousands.
What's it? A few
But
seconds
we want to
left.
get to millions.
You're making a huge difference.
So it's in 2,000 nursing homes and other healthcare organizations right now. Every state in the country, Australia, UK, Denmark, Holland, Israel, South Africa.
It's got to be rewarding.
It's great, but for every 100 people sitting in long-term care right now, 99% typically are sitting around basically doing nothing. So we want to get them all their music, and I need the public's help for this.
99%.
And it's cheap. It's very cheap.
Dan Cohen, founder and executive director of a really terrific organization called Music and Memory, making a real difference. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Steve.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by United Airlines, Investors Bank, Holy Name Medical Center, Health Republic Insurance of New Jersey, Fedway Associates, Partners for Health Foundation, and by ADP. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.